Так. По стандарту звук проверить. О, зеленка. Изи. Привет, привет, ребят. Так, сейчас. Так вот. С чего ты взял Изи? Мне наоборот она зашла. Или ты в соло ей пытался гонять? Так сильно хотел и потом понял, то, что она херня. А почему? Лол. Чё, она тебе не зашла? Прошу прощения. Так, я тут пока думаю. Так. Естественно, хандлу будет. Дальше, наверное, вот это вот все, а потом уже только вот это. Только треды. Даже кефелиновые ящики могут подождать. Так, что тут у нас? Эти туда-сюда ходят. Так, что у нас бонусные юниты? Иришмаэль у меня есть, это у меня нету, пока нету, это только через неделю появится эго. Остальные у меня есть. Я вот не знаю, ребят, мне стоит делать 4-й аптай и левел 60 вот этих вот. Вот так вот я себе команду собрал. Я как бы сомневаюсь, что у меня все лягут. Я ее соло проходил, но из-за того, что взял гифт после прохождения, который случайно дал врагам плюс 3 атак пауэра. Хотя и без этого урона не хватало. Почти весь интервал можно, по сути, ничего не делать. Доезжать винрейд, да? Чисто исторический ивент, чтобы расслабиться. Кстати, ну-ка. Когда наводишься, рот открывается так. Ладно. Разбаловаться. Consultation session. Консультация. То есть ты судишь потому, что она... Не, знаешь, в чем прикол? В том-то и дело, что соло ей как бы особо не пройдешь, потому что она вроде зависит от Blade Lineage. Если ты соберешь пачку Blade Lineage, и они будут ложиться один за одним, то тогда, наверное, у нее хоть какой-то баф. Не в прямом смысле ничего не... скоро поймешь. Все, понял. Сейчас прикинь, ивент, получается, 14 нодов, 10 из которых это чтение. No, wait, for this one. We should go about it like, hey. Oh, Heathcliff's been in the vanguard for too long. I should put him back and let him. Dante. Oh, sorry. Did you say something? I provided you an answer to your question, but you exhibited no observable response. Is the sinner's combat performance deteriorating beyond manageable parameters? No, things aren't that bad, but it's just hard to focus on one conversation when I'm trying to support battles happening in completely different places at once. Он проходит МДшку, но параллельно консультация. On top of that, Roger's shop and chatter is starting to get a little distracting. A few days after we entered N-Corp's district, the boss pulled over in the back streets of N-Corp to take care of a distortion case. То есть мы находимся в N-Corp'е. Так, погодите, а тогда по карте Эскорп где находится? Позвольте, я врублю карту Limbus limbuscompany city map. Так, где мы вообще находимся? В Энкорпе, определенно. Так, вот я вижу Энкорп. Вот где Энкорп и где Эскорп, алё. Вы... Так, одну секунду, сейчас вы видите эту херню? Вы видите вот это вот? Где Энкорп и где Эскорп? Что Эскорп делает в землях Энкорпа? То есть, погодите, вот мы ехали, да, мы проехали, получается... А как мы попали в Энкорп? Будете спросить. Одну секунду. То есть мы с H-Corp поехали, мы, скорее всего, ехали через G-Corp, Кек. Привет, Гришаня. И, короче, въехали в Энкорп, да? Мне кажется так, потому что маршрут сначала был такой. Потом, скорее всего, да, потом такой. Так, Гришаня, Родя. Где-то Шинклер. Также здесь же Есанг. Получается Ишмаэль. Переклив потом В-корповским поездом П-корп. Затем H-корп. Затем где-то хрен пойми где, блядь. Канта Роши произошло. И сейчас мы находимся в Энкорпе. Либо мы как-то вот так вот кругаля дали, либо через G-корп проехали. Что-то мне так подсказывает. Хотя да, мы же в Твининтрецах, короче, в G-корп зашли, в старые земли, и там, короче, был офис. Но это, опять же, мы через дверку зашли. Сейчас мы, короче, находимся в Энкорпе. Но что там делает Эскорп, это интересно. Она вообще саппорт вроде... Эскорп там где-то... Эскорп. Корпорация S. Хотя и не лучше. Так. Карту мы сохраняем. This contract was supposed to be handled jointly with the LCD team, but distortions suddenly started cropping up all over an area of the back streets called Butter Street, without any coherent pattern. No obvious point of origin or route or spread, nothing convenient like that, and I had no choice but to split the sinners into several groups and send them out. Вы только не говорите, что мы снова будем, сражаться сплит-группами. Otis, Ishmael, Sinclair, Don Quixote, Ysank and Mersol were on the way to rendezvous with the LCD team. Heathcliff, Gregor and Hunlu were suppressing distortions that had showed up from other directions. And with our onboard stock scrapped down to the bottom, Roddy and Roshu, who were done with their share of the suppression work, were put in charge of buying supplies for the bus. Только не говорите мне, прошу прощения, не говорите мне, пожалуйста, что Рёшка и Родя, ну ладно, они будут типа отсутствовать, там что-то закупались они, да? Не говорите мне, пожалуйста, что мы будем сражаться вот первой пачкой. Вот этой вот. И нам будет помогать LCD Team. То есть за нас делать будут Аенду и... То есть Аенду... Бамбуковая шляпа Ким. Кто еще? Веспа, Мозес, Эзра. Короче, опять нас будут протаскивать, что ли? Изи, ну... Не, ну вроде в Кейкорп была какая-то часть H-Corp. Нет, там, скорее всего, ну, типа, перекликающиеся технологии, вся херня, все дела, это понятно. Но, блин. То, что ты имел в виду, короче, на землях Кейкорпа был, короче, городок. Это в третий кант Синклера. И там, короче, оказались инкорповцы. Если ты про это. As for Faust, she decided to stay behind with me on the bus. I wanted to get through the consultation sessions I'd been putting off and and thought I might get as well myself some much needed practice with handling the new golden bow power I'd acquired. То есть он сейчас будет развивать свою, так сказать... Короче, вы видели, какое там дерево, да? Он, короче, развивает Малькут Power, типа силу управления синерами на расстоянии. Но она, как помните, в 9-м Канта и даже в Twinning Threads'ах, она как бы была... Из-за того, мне кажется, из-за того, что дерево было неполное, то есть 4 ветки были соединены, а эта ветвь не соединена, точнее корень. Ну, корень, ветвь, ну вы поняли, короче. Малкут не была соединена с остальными частями этого дерева. У него, собственно, вот эта Малькут способность работала так себе. Зато Ира, Мороситас, что еще, Пегрития и... Короче, вот эти вот дюранты способности. Вот. 4 дюранта способности. Они работают достаточно слаженно. Вот. Он как-то пытается физически развить, но мне кажется, надо что ли подождать, я не знаю. Хотя, не знаю. Там видно дальше будет. To reiterate, there are no issues required special concerning regarding Faust. It is true that Faust has, on several recent occasions, expressed dissatisfaction with a certain Faust. Это как a certain Sinclair, только a certain Faust. However, those instances should be classified as a mere personal grievance. I mean, that's good if that's all there is to it, but... This was not the first time Faust had seemed unlike herself. There had been times before she spent far longer alone than usual, lost in thought. Moments when she could not produce immediate answers to questions from the other seniors or me. Could it be you can't access the Gesellschaft? May I ask you basis for that inference? Because you're acting a lot like you did back on the warp train. It appears there remain occasions on which you are still capable of surprising Faust, Dante. So I was right? You really are cut off from the Gesellschaft? That was not intended as a confirmation of your conjecture. Maybe she's saying that while she can technically access the Gesellschaft, it may as well be that she can't. Блять. Блокировки Гессельшафта, блять. Ладно, поехали дальше. I wish I could ask more and get to the bottom of it, but the way she was sidestepping the subject told me that Brian wouldn't give me any further insight. Right, I won't press you if you don't want to talk about it. Your reserve is appreciated. Shall we move on? Yes, your consultation is the next agenda. After cross-referencing the record pertaining to the recent events in the House of Spiders, it would appear that memories concerning the individuals designated as Sora and Ren currently remaining only with you, Dante. As such, should the influence of Roshu and her sword lead to further omissions in the official records, the manager will be responsible for supplementing the necessary information. Yeah, not the first time I was only the one left with the intact memories, huh? Yep. That's right, despite Key Corp's memory wipe procedure, Catherine's erasure by the golden bow power, and Ayashiki severing people from existence. Кстати, да, что-то все... Даже я... Вот у меня тоже выпало. В конце 4-го канта была же это... процедура стирания памяти, да? Вот. Да-да-да. То есть было не 2, а 3 инстанса про Кейкорп и про 4-й канты что-то все забывают. Спасибо, что напомнили. I was the only one who remembered what has transpired. But ironically enough, the memories I had prior to swapping my head with this clock still showed no sign of returning. Why won't my old memories come back though? Is it because of this clock head? Speculation based on your experience with the Boosty thus far will not meaningfully contribute to the recovery of your former memories manager. Inductive reasoning conducted from memories with gaps after all, is bound to have structural limitations. Bongi would serve as an adequate analogy. Bongi? Yes, Bongi. Receiving feed and increasing in body mass alone would provide it with no meaningful basis for identifying the purpose of its rearing. Even at the terminal stage, when exposed to kitchen instruments and the heat of the stove, its limited experience would prove inadequate to constitute an understanding of its ultimate fate and purpose. Likewise, the ultimate answer to your doubts can only be obtained from the whole of the experience that you will have accumulated at the terminus of your entire journey, that is, your allotted mission. Because treasure awaits at the end of the road, at the end of hell. And that treasure will give me back my memories and my head. Also, indeed, at the end of the road you will be able to engrave your aspect. I still have no idea exactly what aspect means, or even whether it's an object, but if I know one thing, is that the me from before all of this began had wanted it badly, obsessively, desperately. It's more like an instinctive knowledge, but with my memories gone, that feeling, however strong it is, does not change the fact that it's just another word with no discernible mental image. And you're not gonna tell me what it actually is, are you? The aspect. What it means, or why I wanted it so much. If it remains a piece of information that must be disclosed to you, then no. I'm unable to tell you. Pay it no mind. You're still following your star acceptably. Please concentrate on the journey. More importantly, have you grown accustomed to that incomplete power? Current observations suggest you yet to arrive at that level. Well, I've gotten pretty used to focusing on one place at a time, but keeping track of several places at once is still a bit rough. Roger's team is doing well in combat even without my direct supervision, and Roger's team is sharply and not engaged in the battle at the moment. Taking my mind off them would prove much easier, but that wouldn't give me the much needed practice, so I am doing my best to keep an eye on every sinner status. Sufficient familiarity should result in substantial tactical value. You would be able to cast a wider net when information gathering and employ previously unavailable tactical patterns. Right, and I'd also be able to tell when it's a bad time to call someone in too. Even as I continue talking with Faust, I make sure not to stop observing the places where each group is and what they're doing. Так. Ох, уж рейтинги из Лимбуса вечно какие-то бердряки попадают. Какого хуя бабочка на этом ёбаном поконе так дохуя урона наносит. 700 урона с 4 сломанных монет, дохуя. Ну да, что-то в духе дракона. Привыкай. То есть, я так понял, ты решил пройти параллельно 5-ю секцию? Я ее, наверное, буду проходить, но после Mnestic Экспириенса. Так. Yep. Pulling Heathcliff to the rear was the right call. I don't see any injuries, his team's still doing pretty well even without my directions. As for Rodia, wait, did she just stuff all of the pastas and bread she bought into her pockets? How did she manage that with a huge baguette? I noticed this group, let's see. Ah, looks like they joined up with the LCD team without any issues. Черт, меня все еще не отпускает кашель. LCD, then that guy over there must be... Hang on. Pause. There's a dude I've seen before, but he seems a bit different from what I remember. Would you specify the issue? I am monitoring the situation right now. We should probably join up with them too. Let's end this consultation here. This is rather precipitous. Precipitous. Dante. If the incident is of a serious nature, perhaps a request for support from the LCC. No, it's not an incident. Though I wouldn't say it's not serious. Я сейчас налью себе воды. Погодите пару секунд. Так, я вернулся. Так, вторая читательная глава. Интересно, сколько здесь нодов? Ну ладно, пока не будем. И, кстати, я сейчас только что обратил внимание, что у меня ни хрена нету... Блять. У меня нету энкефалина. Я, походу, его случайно слил. Ну, как минимум, прочитая вот эту главу, то у меня будет энкефалин на один файт. This is going from bad to worse, really. Dante seems to be tied up helping the other groups. Otis's command calls have been working out well enough, I'll give her that. We've managed to hold the line better than expected, but we're definitely starting to feel the strain. Why are you waving your hand all over? Armored hand signals? What signals? What's swinging the arm sideways even supposed to mean? You don't know? It's scatter, damn it, so scatter! That was close, we almost got flattened. Damn it, even rookies with nothing but the most rudimentary of military training would recognize a hand signal that basic. Well, we're not the all-trained soldiers here, are we? Weirdly, the flourish of a single hand don't need make boast of a chivalric elegance. Yet when thou suddenly wavest thine arm about, clenching and unclenching thy hand in that mystical fashion, only to suddenly turn tail, forsooth, I am left bereft of understanding what thou meanest to say. To think that of all the personnel in the team, only the Swabble has the discipline to interpret basic field signals. I only picked up during my sailing days, and realistically speaking, did you really expect ordinary people like the others to understand professional military signals? This is unacceptable. After all the operations of all of you have been deployed under my lead, you're all still ignorant when it comes to nonverbal signals. I don't think even Dante would know those signals. Yep. Might as well be splitting hairs, literally. Let us appease our agitated hearts and follow Miss Otis' instruction. We should disperse and withdraw. Megatron landing! Hey, pretty cool, huh? Let's face it, I know how to make one heck of an entrance. Whoa, aren't you supposed to be cleaning up the distortions upstairs? Huh? Oh, finita a million years ago. You guys were taking forever, so I figured I'd take a peek and lend a hand. You're welcome. Split by your thundering descent. The floor's form and shape are now crushed beyond mending, sunken deep enough to be likened to the incipients of a wellspring. Don't you worry your head about it. It's all after teams to take care of. Anyway, that shouldn't be all of them, right? The force of your landing neutralized the last of the distortions outside of the building. Great! Can you check on the distorted peeps' faces and clothes? Their faces are all segmented. Makes my skin crawl, not a pleasant sight. As for their attire, this one appeareth to be a sweeper, and that one yonder bears the attire of an ordinary fixer. This distortion I landed on, probably a local resident, judging by the clothes. Did any of you happen to see anything nearby bursting with a big pop and flash? То есть свиперы тоже дистортятся. Из того, что я понял. Так. Когда вот третий стакер это из-за лупи до разъебывающего килла. Ага. Хорош. Hey, not once. Okay, you know what? Then let's all head upstairs. This suppression request is kind of a pain. We'll need to put together a nice, neat plan before we start poking it too hard. A plan says though, how? How? Was this not a mere matter of slaying distortions where they stand? Huh? Wait, did nobody brief you? This has often been the structure of our assignments. We are given instructions, we perform them, and only afterwards do we begin to perceive the nature and contour of the task to which we have committed our hands. Really? Well, guess every department has its own ways of doing things. No big deal, I'll explain everything once we are upstairs. Oh, by the way, you didn't get to meet the whole team last time, did you? Only our new girl. This time that dude, I mean Mr. Bamboo-headed Kim's also here, so... Huh? He's okay now? Sure he is, you'll be surprised once you see just how okay he is now. But last time you said he was still under treatment. To be precise, I believe Miss Ayandu stated that his mind is yet to regain its former tranquility. That? Huh? You'll get it once you see him. I feel like we'll just end up having the same conversation twice if I say anything about it now. Yo. Yeah, our farming started. You have arrived. It's blinding. It's so bright, the midday sun is burning like crazy. Yet the warm tickle of the sunbeam is rather agreeable. No, this is not sunlight. Because unlike this, there's more to the sunshine that is warmth. Then what exactly is this light? Why is this thing on again? It's bright enough to fry my eyeballs. Apologies, Lady Ezra, I'm yet to be accustomed to this machine. This is my first time laying a hand upon the complicated workings of such a contraption. Это ее кочановые руки. It activated on its own accord, and I have yet to discover the method by which it may be silenced. That's why I told you to leave it alone. Fiddling with things you don't understand usually ends with something, or you, broken. Nothing good comes of it, I tell you. But Mentor, Lady Moses has instructed me that in every moment and event, clues are hidden under the veil of one's surroundings and must be examined with care. Yes, and that only works if you're savvy about the neck. Hang on, did you just say Mentor? I had not yet been afforded a proper opportunity to introduce him to you. This here is the esteemed leader of the Blade lineage, who is all but a master under whom I apprenticed. Do you really have to dress it up like that? I told you I only took on the role because there wasn't anyone else around to take the job. Switch. Where's the switch? Gotcha. Huh? 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 Wait. Погодите. Тут какой-то чел. Так, я уже по значку вижу то, что... Мне кажется, то, что вот это вот, то, что стоит, это, короче, его эго, он, типа, просто откинулся в кресле. И он как бы управляет своим эго как-то на расстоянии, мне кажется. Ну, а еду прикольно выглядит, да. Униформа, но при этом... Мне кажется, это черные колготки такие, леггинсы, или это прям брюки под юбкой. Она прям очень так упакована, ей не жарко. То есть куртец, жилет еще и рубашка, жесть. А? Что происходит вообще? What is happening? Так. Вижу 9 красных монет у Риена на каком? 9-м этаже? Нет ничего прекраснее 9 красных монет Риена на 9-м этаже. Что делать, если компот стал газированным? Ну, значит, он забродил. Еще да, не давай пропадать добру. Насчет аурофарминга я, конечно, не уверен, ведь в последнем уровне они скорее просто урон себя впитают, а сами из пауков соло. Ну, я, скорее всего, буду блейдлинеджами проходить, так что... Не строй конспирологические теории. Так я и не строю, я просто пытаюсь понять, что тут происходит. Солнышка нету, почему должно быть жарко? Ну, блин, не знаю, это инкорп. Хотя не знаю, какая там погода. Goodness! Known as a bamboo-headed Kim. Yes, that's me. То есть ты здесь? Лол. А что происходит, лол? Yes, that's me. Guess I should say pleased to meet you, folks. Очень необычно видеть его прям в такой атире. Не, ну это прям вообще. Кстати, загрузочные экраны с шмелькой закончились даже раньше, чем... Ну, вы поняли. Мы снова читаем? 3 читательные главы подряд? Так, это мы не трогаем. Не трогаем. Не трогаем. И, может быть... Сколько их? 180. Так. Давайте сделаем так. Да, я знаю то, что это в приоритете, но, бля. Ребят. Если что, на всякий случай. 12 ящиков у нас есть. 12 ящиков это... Один ящик это 60 энкефалина, так что нормально. Search for the infection point. Какие аккуратные улочки в инкорпе. Окей, so... Все в фотках просто. Что за фотограф? Кто фотограф вообще? Кстати, насколько я помню, по Distortion Detective делать какие-либо видео и разного рода изображения, ну, типа фотографии на территории инкорпа строго запрещено. Типа это табу является. Не так ли? Distortion Site Containment Building, District 14. More often than not, first impressions are prone to change. The bamboo-headed Kim I remember was a man who drowned in his own fathoms, blaming himself for his powerlessness with a listless, heavy voice. That, however, had been while he was distorted and sunk into himself, so I figured his original personality might be somewhat different. But this is not just somewhat. His personality isn't even the same ballpark as my expectations. You're telling me is this guy here the bamboo-headed Kim? Yep, we double-checked with Adri and she said he really is the same guy. Whoa, that fire on your head is not hot at all? Fascinating stuff. Окей, то есть это бамбуковая шляпа Ким, это типа не тот эджлорд, а типа такой свой в доску. Can we check again just in case? I really can't wrap my head around the fact that this is the solid serious man whom we fought. Just look at what he's doing. He's rubbing my face all over like he's checking out some kind of mantelpiece or ornament. Lots of ticking and talking going on. That's supposed to sound like them talking to you folks, huh? Это, короче, это Гентоки Саката из Гентамы. But the confirmation would be redundant, Dante. This individual is conclusively identical to the one designated as Bamboo-Headed Kim. I've got no idea what you folks are so suspicious about. I do. Just what exactly have you been telling people out there about me? They're all staring like they've seen a ghost. I told them you're a gallant and formidable warrior mentor. But they don't look they've heard the most flattering things about me. There, don't you hear it? The faint undercurrent of disappointment in the ticking. I also told them that you are a man of few words, but with much affection for the followers under your command. I do. Yes, mentor? That's a complete and utter lie. Man of few words is definitely not something you can say about a guy who's as talkative as me, don't you think? Охуеть. Я сейчас в полном ахере, я сейчас в шоке. То есть он, по сути дела, Гентоки Саката. Так. Тем временем Изи орет у меня в чате с того, что он проходит РР6. Какого хуя это злоба хиляется от блида? У него ебло радостно, потому что похоже на Эзру и тик-чик-чик-чик-чик. У него на следующем ходу выдал бы... Ага. У них 3... Ровно 3 грешника, вне стагера, 1 стагера. Бойся красных монет. Бойся зеленых. Да. Или фиолетовых. Yet I spoke no falsehood. Although your conduct is rather shallow and perhaps less refined for a leader of an organization, you are much more reserved and taciturn when conversing with those unfamiliar to you, are you not? No matter who... Oh. Судя по размеру шрифта, сейчас придется много читать. No matter who one may be, one is bound to inspire either approval or disapproval from those around him, so I refrained from mentioning any truths that might invite the latter. To even hint at anything that might tarnish the reputation of my master would not be unlike spitting on his name, and mine by the extension. I simply had no reason to put on airs in front of my folks. In any case... Oh, so you can see anything if I block this part? Hmm? Do tell, how many fingers am I holding up? Those are not my eyes, you know. Сука. Your own folks, huh? Then you have already acknowledged and accepted that you now belong to Limbus Company. Why didst thou not pay a visit to the LCE? Verily, when one's mind is plagued by the absence of tranquility, venturing forth into the open air and touchable field of grass cleareth the storm of the heart. An asset of the company is expected to act in the company's interest. Yet for whatever reason, I didn't see you fighting on the field of battle during Operation Spider Fire. You will have to account for your absence in the mission. Otis addressed Kim as though she were conducting a formal investigation, every word flat and hard. It was obvious she was not about to let her guard down anytime soon. What mission? Oh, that one. Kim finally seemed inclined to assume a more serious disposition. Oh. He stopped peering into my face and turned towards Otis. Although his hand was still on my head. Секунду, ребят. Alright, clearly there is some disconnect in expectations here. Listen here, yeah. I'm really not all that about hard bothersome work. Get what I mean? Понятно. The real disconnect was between his stoic expression and the words coming out of his mouth. What? So let's talk about the kind of fella I am. Meet the resident layabout who's forced to do his job with a frown too, I might add. Only when he's got absolutely no other choice. I'm really not some big shot Indus apparently been promoting me as, folks. And I'd very much like to stop getting roped into stuff like into stuff that keeps putting my life on the line. Fine, then why did you join the LCT in the first place if you'd rather be unemployed? No, never mind. They probably forced you to stay. Education quick. First they spout this nonsense about distortions and all, then the force hired me, calling me a company-owned resource or whatever. And the other day they were again on it about, what's his name, Goldenbow? Yeah. They invited me on a tour to another department to listen in on some important presentation. Ну, короче, мне кажется, то, что его distortion как-то намеренно использовать. Ох, не нравится мне все это. Типа, ну, что-то Диас что-то знает определенно, что-то она знает. Вот Диас, она в Distortion Detective была какой-то прям такой подозрительно паскудой. И вот здесь вот то же самое. Ой, сорян. And I accepted. I thought it would be a fine opportunity to broaden my perspective. And dear, there are times when your commitment to duties shines brighter than the sun. I find that attitude so dazzling that I have to squint when I'm looking at you. Who knows, maybe that's why I'm wearing this bamboo hat, to shade my eyes from your utter brilliance. Damn, that was one hell of a... Excuse me, that was one hell of a Reese sentence. Do you mean to say that you're in need of a shield to protect your eyes? She's pon. She's pon. She's definitely pon. Я сейчас сам не стопнулась. Если даже Тремор ни на что не способен, как это проходить? Ну я хз, я Тремором проходил третью. Я выжил только Хонкой за пассивки на 1 хп. Либо дело не в Треморе, а в том, что я аутист тупой, который не читает пассивки. Да, надо почитать. Надо почитать. Я пятый рэг буду проходить этим синкингом, мне кажется. Ladies, might I submit a request for a pair of sunglasses for my mentor? Его лицо. Only if it's not too much of an imposition on the budget. That right there. That's what I keep telling you not to do. You can't just say yes to very silly things he says and tune into a supply request. Small expenses add up to a lot, you know? You gotta save up everything you can in the piggy bank while you still can, or you'll end up broke. Is there truly no room for consideration? Его лицо. No means no. Then pray make the purchase for me. I shall cover the cost myself. No, wait, what? My poor mentor is in a state of great discomfort, yet I possess neither the wisdom nor the knowledge to navigate the silver tongue of merchants and the maze of stalls to locate the very best item. So I must beg this favor of you. You're giving me a freaking headache, girl. I am aware that yours are not are no strangers to such dealings. There is no other else I can trust to complete such a procurement with the swiftness of the wind. Oh, you know what? Never mind what I said. I'll just get you what you want. You heard the gentle lady mentor. Your suffering shall soon be alleviated. Right. I apologize for interrupting you mid-conversation. Pray continue. You had reached the part where they invited you to tour another department. No sooner Ayandu's words left her lips than her eyes glinted with something I couldn't really put my finger on, but it was a strange intensity that sent a chill down my spine. Yeah, so that day I was just gonna relax here and watch some TV, huh? Well, couldn't you for showing up to work today, I guess. Let's say there's a debt to be repaid. At least you understand that we are indeed indebted to the company. Oh. Yeah, I suppose I do. Kim's gaze lingered on Ayandu's prosthetic arms as he answered. А, нифига! То есть у Аянду же протезы, они влетели в копеечку. Понятно. Oh, Miss Ayandu, your arms. Yep. On left the following Kim's gaze, did Sinclair seem to notice Ayandu's brand new prosthetic arms. The last time we saw her, Ayandu had lost both her arms, and I remember Ezra asking her to sit tight and choose what type of prosthetic she wanted. Those arms are probably it. It's not just the arms, even her clothes are different now. And that sword. I had these arms fitted anew as soon as the operation was concluded. The gracious hosts in one of the LCD's team had prepared them in advance. With evident satisfaction, Ayandu held up her dark metallic wrists as if to showcase them. The components fixed along her arm clicked and rattled, unfolding for a moment before neatly folding back into place. Oh, such graceful smoothness! With to machine articulation. It is as though I am beholding the marvelous prosthesis of the illustrious Siegfried himself. Это тот Зигфрид, который в Кейкорпе в начале третьего кантона себя размотал. Yup, the showcase would have gone lackluster without the trademark reaction. Those are strikingly similar to Schwarz Industries N7 lineup. N7! Is that motherfucking Mass Effect reference? But I thought that model was discontinued. Nah, not theirs. It's one of their prototypes developed by the LCD's Phenomena Deciphering team. LCD's PDT. And they put them on her for trial. Up you'll find another like them. They are based on technology spawned from distortions. Oh, I see. For a brief moment, Sinclair's eyes lit up as if he had glimpsed something that brought him back to a memory. Then just as quickly he fell silent, whatever he'd wanted to say next catching in his chest. Yep. We all remember his story in Counter 3. Yep. Does something trouble you, Master Sinclair? Yep. It wasn't hard to understand what struck the tender memory for Sinclair, and why it cast a shadow over his face. Так. Oh. But... sorry, just reminded me of something from a long time ago. My dad used to work with prosthetics before he passed away. I thought this was the exact same model I saw back then. Oh. It appears I lacked tact. These arms have stirred a painful memory within you. For that, I apologize. It's alright, I'm fine now. Sinclair's voice still carried a faint tremor, but beneath it there was a firmness that had not been there before. He really had grown a great deal. Yep. And he will grow further. Кстати, посмотрите, я только что обратил внимание. Посмотрите, здесь значок, он типа стоит как бы в полный рост. Здесь значок, и она стоит слишком низко, как будто бы. Да, веточка через синкинг. Yep. You can thank yours truly for picking the sword. I was there with her. I did inform Lady Ezra that any blade that could serve as a weapon would suffice, but she insisted on browsing the goods. I dare say I was given the opportunity to lay my eyes on every type of sword I could ever hope to see in this life. Walking through the workshop street that day. Oh please, girl, we walked for just 4 hours. That's nothing. While everyone was distracted, taking Nayandu's new outfit and equipment, Kim had quietly slipped away from the crowd and crouched down in the corner. He was rummaging through things scattered on the floor, picking them up. Is he pocketing them? Anyway, what is this place supposed to be? What are all these things? It's basically a wreck now, but there are strobes that cloth backdrop over there. Maybe it used to be a photo studio? Oh, that could explain why there are so many photos stuck around the place. Probably. This thing definitely looks like a camera at least. Sinclair picked up a small cylindrical object and turned it over in his hands, studying it with curiosity. What do you suppose this is? A battery, maybe? Ah, there is some kind of a strip inside. Let me just pull it out. No, that's... Otis shouted a sharp warning at Sinclair as if she had realized something. But Mersault's hand shot out before she could even finish, clasping over Sinclair's wrist before the strip could be pulled out. What? What did I do? Exposure to sunlight damages these objects. I already put a little bit though. It can be rewound. Carefully rotate the reached section on the cylinder. I am currently blocking the sunlight from reaching the exposed section. Damage is of no concern. Oh, okay, you mean this one, right? This is the part that rotates? Yep, it went back in. With a quiet nod, Mersault took the object from Sinclair's hand. It seems to be a film roll. There is something written on the outside. Experiment number 4? It appears to be a compact roll for a film camera. You seem to have handled one before. Yes. Mersault's answer came without any further explanation, but the way he adjusted the camera on the table certainly didn't look like that of a first-timer. I once received a report containing photographs taken on film cameras during the war. Ну и к тому же, камон, у него прошлое в Анкорпе. Причем такое, он был, насколько я помню, табу-хантером, да? Film ROMs used by Ancorp are particularly difficult to falsify. They were often used to collect intelligence during secret operations. The film fixes light directly onto the medium, from what I've heard. A peculiar expression flashed across Ezra's face as she regarded Otis. Perhaps it was the mention of war that caught her attention. Oh, yep. Anyway, we've managed to regroup in one piece. Let's come up with a plan to deal with these distortions, guys. Where should we begin? Then, in the next breath, she returned to her usual bubbly self and steered the conversation away from the subject. Both Ezra and I were both still trying to be free of the misconception we inflicted on ourselves. Yep. For all her unfailingly perky disposition, Ezra, too, maybe carried traumatic memories every bit as devastating as Gregor's. Yep. Я также вспоминаю Distortion Detective. Yep. Когда Дракоша меня убивает, 500 хп остается, я сдыхаю. Не, я дракона прошел. С горем пополам, но прошел. Does there yet remain odd deserving elimination? Oh? Yeah, wait, you're right. Haven't we cleaned up the distortion already? I couldn't feel any more traces of distortions nearby, and it didn't seem like any of the other sinner teams elsewhere were actively engaged in battle at the moment either. Dante is asking whether the distortion suppression has not in fact already been concluded. Oh, not yet. These people we fought just now, they only got caught up in the distortion. They didn't actually distort themselves. We haven't even gotten close to the distortion's inflection point yet. Inflection point? Anywho, finding an inflection point without the team leader around is gonna take some time. Maybe it won't be too bad with your help. Distortion detective. Yep. Ezra swept her eyes around the room with a look of frustration, as though she had just been handed a puzzle box with half the pieces missing. By inflection point, you are referring to the point on a graph in which the directionality of its curvature changes? Calling to mind the present context, it may less be a mathematical term and more a specialized policy, referring to the point at which distortion occurs, the motive, intent, or indeed the point in which inflection of the mind occurs. Одну секунду. Кое-что нужно проверить. Одну секундочку. Ага. Так. Yep, that's about right. That's the kind of inflection point I was talking about. So in our department, we use that term to mean the source of a distortion, the inflector or cause behind it. Stuff like that. No, distortion is hard to treat if you don't know the core cause. Treat the symptoms you see on the surface all you like, but if you never find the root cause, the distortions never get solved. Though I guess you guys never really had to look for that kind of stuff, huh? Your boss clock opens a door into their phantoms or whatever, right? You mean Dungeon of the Phantoms? Yep, that's the one. From where we're standing, distortions are really high maintenance, time-consuming headaches. It's one thing to somehow manage to locate the inflection point, but curing it is another thing. But you guys can just march straight into someone's heart, knock the snot out of everything in there, and then ta-da! Patient's ready for discharge. That's how it works, right? Not gonna lie, I was so jealous when I heard about it, I almost beat my sleeve off. Really, I had thought your team would set about resolving the distortions once the foe was vanquished, as we are want to do. Was that not so? Of course not. Why would anyone come to us with a distortion suppression request if it were that simple in the first place? But yeah, most of the time peeps try brute force approaches to it first, and when things go south, they send requests for the company or to our detective's office. That means the client this time must be bingo. Apparently the residents of a Butter Street had all chipped in to commission all kinds of agencies like the ZWI and the combat specialized fixer offices, but none of them could actually do things right, and the job got passed on to us. Meaning the distortion phenomenon relates to this kind of photograph is still occurring unchecked somewhere on the streets. Exactly, that's why we gotta find something. Anything that might count as a clue. As we gaze down at the people lying on the floor with complicated expressions. Neat ash gray suits and the logo on the collar of their uniform and briefcases. Hey, isn't that N-Corp's logo? Come to think of it, wasn't Mersot? I was once employed by N-Corp. What? You used to work with those people? Yeah, he did mention that he used to work at N-Corp. Maybe he can offer us something inside. Do you know who these guys are, Mersot? Yes, manager. Yes, manager. These are N-Corp Class 2 staff members. Given the camera briefcases in their possession, they are likely members of the pin frame team of Service de Clou. Or Service de Clois. Mersot recited the information as though he were pulling it from a file he had already sorted and placed in the back of the shelf in his mind. Okay, pin frame team, huh? Anything you can tell us about them? Yes. It is one of N-Corp's many field departments related to information gathering and processing. Their primary duties include the handling of N-Corp's internal information, analysis of N-Corp's internal intelligence, the sorting and arranging of N-Corp's internal information, and intersector. That's be enough. Whoa, is he a talking encyclopedia or something? Yeah, another thing to be jealous of. You think it will be okay if we borrow him sometimes? Might be an issue for us if you just went and borrowed our team's encyclopedia. Looks like everyone agrees that he's an encyclopedia. Anyway, your encyclopedia is right. Here's Mersot, for fuck's sake. They're from N-Corp's pinframe team. Pinframe. Seen them a few times before in N-Corp's nest. But why would people already busy enough dealing with nest affairs come all the way out to a shabby backstreet like this? Got any guesses? I'm unable to determine that. Eh? The possible range of connections between the two pieces of information is exceedingly broad, listing every relevant reason as to why they may have come here would require a considerable amount of time. Therefore, I will not present a determinative answer to that question. Ezra staring holes into me with an unspoken "Is this dude always like this?" wouldn't pull any answers from me, you know. because aside from combat situations, I've still got no way to figure out what's going on in his head. Okay then, Mersot, maybe this will be easier to answer from an objective point of view. His face expression? And that was when I noticed something I'd never imagined would happen. Mersault's eyes widened, his gaze fixing me with such force that I could almost feel the faint tremor in it. A leveling stare that came with, "There is no such thing as an objective point of view, manager." A clipped tone and a look almost bordering on rebuke. A given judgment may seem infinitely close to objectivity, but ultimately all things are subjective, without exception. Whoa. I felt silent for a moment, lost in thought. Whoa. Whoa. Me too, actually. Part of it was because Mersault's reaction had caught me off guard, but I also wondered whether this response might be connected to why he would always refuse to make judgments for himself. And if this has something to do with his turn, which I know is just around the corner. Got it? Then tell me 3 subjective reasons you think are most likely for why these people had to come all the way into the backstreets. I need to understand who he actually is as much as I can, because I'll never know when I'll get another chance to really get to know him if I brush this off with a simple "oh, I see, my bad," as usual. Yes, manager. I would presume that their mission was one of all of the following: retrieval of a video recording or recordings in violation of N-Corp's taboo. Corpse taboo. На секундочку. Prompt elimination of the violator. Contact with an informant in the backstreets collaborating with N-Corp's nest. Or identification and arrest of a wanted individual or individuals designated by the nest. Video recording in violation of N-Corp's taboo. Taboo? You mean these people could be taboo hunters? Nah, no way. They don't send out taboo hunters for every single violation, you know. Like, Winx usually leave minor taboo violations to be handled by subcontracted fixer officers or employees of the departments in charge. I'd say these guys here are N-Corp staff. Miss Andu? What are you looking for in their pockets? I'm looking through their belongings for enlightening clues yet be hidden in the sleeve or the fold of the garments. Lady Moses has been gifted with the art of discerning the truth from what lies before her with but a single glance, yet my eyes are trained to such a feat. Let me take a look too. This is an employee card, and okay, this one's a wallet, so let's put that back. We don't wanna be robbers. Aha, this might be it. It's an order missive. Ezra pulled a sheet of paper out from an N-Corp staff coat and read its contents aloud. For details, elimination of the individual of a Category 3 taboo violation. Address: Butter Street. This is the place. Which means all of this might be pointing to something. Whoever used to work in this studio and the distortion phenomenon might be connected. Yeah. Now that you mention it, when that whole pop and change thing happened, it did kinda feel like a camera flash. Alright, let's start by combing through this place. Let me know if you find anything suspicious. Oh, at long last had the hour arrived to my debut as a detective forsooth. Don Quixote must be miffed for not getting to play detective back in T-Corp. No idea where she'd be keeping them. But she immediately pulled out the detective props that been given to Roddy Rushu Honlu back then. Verily, I had foreseen that day would come. Fortunately, Otis wasted no time putting an end to Don Quixote's badly timed shenanigan. A sharp dressing down from her was enough to make our dejected chivalric adventurer stuff the costume away. Okay then, we should get moving too. Whoa, what a interval, huh? Captain, it was only part 3. И просто черный экран. Интересно. О, наконец-то батл. Misconceptions. Level 60 за 60. Все Blade Lineage, кстати. То есть специально вот распределили так, чтобы нельзя было вытащить Гришаню, Ханлу, Рёшку, Родю и Хитклифа, потому что они типа заняты. То есть мне по-хорошему надо прокачать их до 60 уровня и сделать 4-й аптай. Чем мы сейчас и займемся. Ибо билетики... Сколько надо? Билетики у меня все-таки имеются. Так уж и быть, сделаем так. Coin Power плюс 1. Короче, получаем пояс, получаем Coin Power. Сделаем 4-й аптай. Так уж и быть, соляви. И здесь 50 таких билетиков, 9 таких, 1 такой. Так, по билетикам шутка, просели, но не критично. Но хотя бы Ханлу там хватит. Прошу прощения, надеюсь. Так, здесь 100 ящиков сколько, да? Одну секунду. Так. Воу, тихо, сейчас чуть не нажал. Так, сколько надо? 9 ящиков, да? Еще и еще один. Найс. 224 трейдер. И сколько-то еще надо на Ханлу. Капец. Продолжаем. Misconceptions. Секунду. Так, ты первый, ты второй. Ты третий, ты четвертый. 5, 6, 7.
별일 수 있는 기회겠죠?
И снова показываю семью Синклера, кстати. Как у меня дела? Ну, как видишь, дальше прохожу. Или стоп, или там сообщение не прогрузилось какое-то. We spent alone while rifting through the photo studio with the LCD team, but no one found any decisive evidence. There sure are a lot of photos around, but almost all of them are just pictures of buildings. Nothing much to tell from that. Aside from the canister containing the film roll Sinclair picked up, there are no remaining items here that can count as a proper clue, Executive Manager. I've confirmed that the rest are all empty plastic containers. Then it's probably best to check the contents of the film roll directly. Yes, Executive Manager, I will find a way to develop the film. Did you guys find any sort of photo development room or equipment nearby? Let's search a little more before we see what's in that film roll. Enter. What do you make of this object? For the 8th time, Aindu, I have no idea. If I had wits bright enough to understand all that lies before me with a single glance like that, team leader, I would have passed the royal examinations long ago and secured myself a lucrative position as a court official. But Mentor, hadn't you already passed the royal? Once swung a sword does not retrace its arc, Aindu. So it is with life. There is no undoing what has already been cut. Thus, it is unnecessary to dwell on what can no longer be undone. There is no after for what has been slashed away. Not for you, Mentor. Ought you not dwell on what can no longer be undone? Whoa. I misspoke. I did not mean it that way, Aindu. I merely meant to say that I do not wish to recall my past. I am aware. You have told me as much since long ago, whenever you were placed in the position to retrace the past. Mostly at the eateries, where you filled your belly on unpaid taps, and each time you brought down the stone wall before our house by your own errant hand. Those are exactly the kinds of things you should never forget. Oh, my belly! I feel a stabbing pain in my belly. This spot, oh, the very wound once you gave me afflicts me yet. The one from when you thought you were only poking me with a scabbard, yet by some cruel turn it was your sword that ran me through. Mentor, you said it was completely healed and that I need not concern myself with it. Those very same words have been repeated at least 80 times. But it still aches every now and then. Chiefly when I hear your sharp cutting words that I really don't want to hear. Ah, is that so? Aindu suddenly pulled out a sheet of paper and began furiously writing something down. What's this? I have written down the words that I have just said. If hearing my sharp cutting words afflict you so, perhaps reading them instead would cause no suffering. Kim's face began to contort like a Wendy's dish towel being run dry. I really can't believe this is the same matter Aindu follows so devotedly. Whereas all of that dignity and forbiddance Aindu said he had. Young Aindu, there's a matter I would ask thee. Apparently I wasn't the only one who felt that way about him. Pray, speak freely. This may perhaps be a discourteous inquiry, but I too, when speaking to the others of those whom I serve, often ornament my words with the laudation of acceptable degree, and yet... Ah, I understand your concern, Lady Don Quixote. I suppose this is your first time seeing Mentor with his shoulders so unbraced and his bearing so loose. In truth, when I first beheld him, I also wondered whether such a man could truly be a leader worth placing my faith in. However, upon my honor, I assure you that I have never once uttered a falsehood when I spoke of him to you. My respect toward the blades of my own and foes alike, my determination to safeguard what must be protected, even should my arms be torn apart, all of these are undoubtedly the teachings that my mentor has imparted into me. Truly? Why, if fortune should grant the opportunity, you may witness Mentor's true self yourself someday. That is to say, if we let ourselves be carried by the current of the river to arrive at such a chance. Aindu gave her prosthetic arm a casual sweep, smiling sincerely as though she truly believed every word as she said. Then, leaning closer to Don Quixote, she whispered, "Besides, unless I speak with this feigned stern ignorance, there will be no end to his digging in his heels. I would ask for your trust, for all is aimed at his benefit." Forsooth, though, to has been burdened with the trials of Serene, your superior, So that's what it was. I get it now. Oh. Bonjour. Guten Abend. Just as I witnessed the budding of this peculiar bond of commiseration and camaraderie between our chivalric friends, the door leading outside was flung open with a loud slam. We have arrived at the target location. It appears that the advance party has already been defeated. Whoops. Right, who are these people? Didn't they say they was only a single violator? Oh crap. Looks like it's too late to talk our way out of this, whatever excuses we come up with. Oh boy, this is not gonna go well. The same thing happened last time when I saw the N-Corp employees, though we had the wrong intel, and all of a sudden a sudden flash blinded my vision white, as though I had stared straight into a burst of searing light, so intense and bright that it made my head swim. Yeah, there was the same pop, and with my vision blinded, the only thing I could make out of Ezra's soft murmur, until even that came to a stop as her breathing hushed. Oh! Фотки. И... бошки чьи-то. Кто-то висит. Интересненько. It didn't take long for me to realize what was happening. Seeing it again doesn't exactly warm the heart, wouldn't you say, Endo? Though S-Corp may indeed be passing through hard times, this alley was not quite so wretched in form, was it, Mentor? Is that right? Looks much the same to me. Ah, this place. Did we just get teleported to S-Corp? No doubt, though it generates a considerable sense of verisimilitude. This is... I think I know what this is. This is a presence. I haven't been able to detect it until just now, but somehow it was now surrounding us, situated in every corner of the space where we stood. The dreary stone walls, tree-bent and coiled in grotesque forms. The sheen of the light and even the air we breathe. All of them point towards a single phenomenon. This is the depth of the phantoms. Phantoms made entirely out of distortion. Мне кажется... Короче, фотограф какой-то из S-Корпа пришел в N-Corp и каким-то чудом дисторкнулся. И мы сейчас находимся в его дисторшене. Rounded down, округленный вниз. Ну то есть округленный в меньшую сторону. То есть, к примеру, смотри. Число 5, да? Сколько-то стаков, да? К примеру, какого-либо какого-либо статуса. Сейчас. Так вот. Например, сколько ты стаков накопил. Вот. Короче, если тебе не хватает какого-то числа, оно не будет давать еще один стак. Оно, короче, уберет просто... Ну, короче, чтобы получить тебе каких-либо 5 статусов чего-то, у тебя должно быть определенное количество стаков. Вот. Ясно. Понятно. Короче, округленный вниз, это получается у тебя какое-то вот количество стаков, да? И ты можешь получить еще один статус, но ты его не получаешь, потому что у тебя стаков не хватает. У тебя, короче, вместо 6 стаков статуса получается 5. Поэтому считается округленный в меньшую сторону. Так вот, продолжим. They are completely different distortions where the Encore employees were just a moment ago. Executive manager, this is exactly it. This is what I was trying to explain. Distortion. Чунакун. Посмотрите на эти фотки. Борода, лицо. Тут фотки какие-то. Глаз, еще глаз, еще глаз. Здесь глаз. Женские губы. Глаз и еще глаз. Where Ezra pointed, the people in smart, neat suits had vanished, and in their place, figures clad in bloodstained dopo robes were approaching us with dragging uneasy steps. Короче, допо это, короче, ну вот эти робы из средневековой Кореи. Короче, здесь будет очень много чего из средневековой Кореи. Судя по всему, несмотря на то, что мы находимся в Энкорпе. Окей, тогда все получается сходится. Right, let's fight first and talk later. Ready, Endo? My blade is poised to strike, Lady Ezra. And wait, where's the bamboo-headed dude? I'm afraid he has already taken his leave. He said he had no desire to cross blades with the Chunakuns of S-Corp's twice. Короче, Чунакуны — это охотники за рабами. Рабы в Корее назывались ноби. Вот. Откуда я это знаю? Я просто прочитал пост в projectmoon'овском паблике в ВК, и, короче, там, если что, обозначения были. Come on, man, not again. He's a repeat offender. That's for certain. Executive manager, where scheme's gone off too, this definitely isn't the time to be asking trivial questions. Right, let's do what Ezra says and get ready for battle. On your order, executive manager. Man, prepare for battle. Сейчас будем драться с чунакунами, я так понял, да? Но при этом тут чунакунов так-то нормально. При этом еще дисторкнутые чунакуны. О, посмотрите на них. Ну, прям дизайн, мое почтение. Так. Ойсблит. Constricted Aura Bonds. А, это то, на чем основывается идентичка Ханлу. Clashable Counter. Чунакун Incapacitate. Escort Fixer. Погоди. А музыка-то бобчик. Я один здесь слышу грайм какой-то. Типа какой-то ломаный бит. Кстати, Эзра и Аинду с нами. У нас две Аинду. А, это еще фокус батл? Фокус энкаунтер, точнее. Incapacitate. Чунакун Bind. Подожди. Тебя чё? Tremel. Chokehold. Не, музыка мне определенно нравится. Так, стоять. Прикольно, что у меня у Арая 157 щита. Когда этот персонаж наносит хп дамаг, половину урона что-то там не наносит, а получает. Понятно. Это, короче, знаешь как? Это как... помнишь файт Руфа и студентиков в Twinning Threads? Короче, то же самое. Ты... Короче, бьешь большую херню, но при этом урон переходит к мелким. Насколько я понимаю. Так. Фейворды, окей. Не, музыка прям вообще кайфовая, максимально. Страглинг, окей. Она... Давай нейтралочку лучше врубим. Фейворит сюда кинем. Так, Эзра фокусит вот этого. Почему ты бьешь в каунтер? Зачем ты бьешь в каунтер? Так, я хочу слить кого-то одного по-быстренькому. Надеюсь, это не будет оверкиллом. Поехали. Так. Флэш выигран. Стоп. Он получил какой-то head sprinted memory после проигранного флэша. А, head splitting. Дон Кихотина заклэшила, найс. Оти заклэшила, найс. А, блин, забыл использовать свою тактику. Давай, нарезай. Хорошо. Так, здесь хилтерн. Стагер его. Хорош. Так, что такое head splitting memory? Avulsion slash. Ага, да, это мы помним. Flash loss gain head splitting memory once per turn. Gain by next turn, gain flash power. Deal 5% damage when we bind on target. To cover the eyes is not to be blind. These fabrics created using Q-Corp Singularity are fashioned into many forms, such as blindfolds and headbands, and are commonly used throughout the East. It is not unusual to see fixers and employees of corporate entities in the East covering their heads and faces with these products. The fabrics serve as the same function as sunglasses, visors, and combat prosthetic eyes found elsewhere in the city. They scan the target information in real time, augment the wearer's vision, and provide tactical analysis. At times, they can also serve as a means of communication with distant allies. Avulsion Wound. Это что такое? Hunters. Так, ты клэшишь, если что, да? И они бьют одного. Hunters Scouring. Не, ну ты мощная, конечно. 75-й левел. Алло. Ты 60-й. Мы все 60-й. Короче, Эзра тупо OP. Короче. Здесь так. Эй, подожди. Под доминейтинг. Ну типа, на самом деле, почему бы и нет, чтобы Avulsion Slash не произошел. Даже если он проиграет, это будет хорошо. Win-win situation. Так, Шинклэр, давай ты клэшишь. Так, тебя надо, получается, тоже заклэшить по-хорошему. Найс. Остальные? Так, 38, 39, 31. Давай тебя еще. Чтобы наверняка. Одного добиваем. А, их тут 10. Так, этих мы клэшем. Этими занимаются Эзра и Аинду. Кстати, я забыл почитать пассивки у Аинду и это. Чё, короче, умеет Аинду и чё, короче, умеет Эзра. в рамках данного интервала. Кстати, у них есть санити поинты. Так, минус 1 чунакун. Так, еще один пришел, да? Капаситейт. Короче, Круда, Допа и... Понятно. Так, Эзра. Да, все то же самое. Дил бонус Blunt Damage. Tremor Charge. Tremor Unbreakable Poinты. Ага. Пассивки. Хомура! Вы слышали? Хомура! Это типа ремикс этого файта с бамбуковой шляпой. Наоборот, бью мелких, половину урона переходит... Ага, все. Ну да. Тогда это не как с Руфа. Потому что когда Руфа атакуешь, на нее, короче, выскакивали студентики, и они, короче, впитывали урон. А тут наоборот. Это, короче, ремикс файтовой темы с этим... С бамбуковой шляпой Кимом. И при этом такой жесткий бобчик. Так, Ending Arts. Acupuncture. To claim their bones. Loosen Rippling Flames. Да-да-да. Even the Balance. Это мы все читали. Book Workshop. Короче, аналогично моей... Короче, у меня есть 2 инду, 2 ишмаэльки инду. Вы поняли. a.k.a. Arms. Так, здесь мы читаем зелененькую, кстати. On the outside, it looks no different from prosthesis you might find in other nests or backstreets, but apparently this particular prosthetic limb has been created using technology unique to Limbus Company. I wonder what it could be. Since the development of this prototype was led by the LCD departments, I would assume it has something to do with the power of distortions. Oh, that's not to say that I have a certainty regarding the matter. I was only in charge of transporting it. You see, it's just a simple speculation, really. In any case, I doubt this is your average prosthetic limb meant for body enhancement. Demon Fire Spine Cleaver, ага, да-да-да. Swift Blade. На крите дает Haste. Да-да-да. Resentment, ага. Attack Power Up, Defense Power Down. Haste. Сколько у тебя... Insecurity Mask. Если вы читали Distortion Detective, вы понимаете, о чем речь. Attack Power Down, Defense Level Up. Insecurity Mask. Здесь Resentment. Does not affect Disturb. Просто паника. Ну вы поняли, к чему это, да? Так. Здесь Hunter Scarring. Пробуем заклэшить. Идеально. Руля идеал. Здесь они хотят клэшиться с Донкихотиной. Дадим им то, что они хотят. Фейворт. Ну давай сюда. Здесь доминейтинг. А, вот здесь вот доминейтинг. Обра! Ладно, давай так. 39, 31, 22. Этого просто добиваем, получается, да? А, ну просто тут она полностью атака получается, потому что мы думали заклэшить. А нафига я туда направлял? Что-то я не посмотрел, куда она бьет. Что-то я вообще не посмотрел, куда они все бьют. У меня получается минус 2 атаки, да? Ой, этот бьет в однопоуст. 45 санити-поинтов. Почти добили, почти. Ладно. И, кстати, санити-поинты очень бодро хилятся на этом файте. Уронил. Держи. Так, куда ты бьешь? Так, ты клэшишь этого. Так, ты клэшишь вот этого. Так, сейчас, подожди. Давай, ты дочищаешь вот этого. Прошу прощения. Так. Этого никто не бьет. Этого, получается, на изи клэшем. Так, сейчас внимательно смотрим. 41, 49, 35. Окей, здесь хватает. Здесь можно вот так вот сделать на самом деле. Во, вот так вот сделаем. Чтобы они ударили в анапоуз и, короче, его быстрее снесло. Вот. Собственно, таковы тактики галактики. Так, Аинду навязает. Стагер, отлично. Even the balance. Минус 1 хайло. Ага. Мы тоже не отступаем, не отстаем. Так, этого мы тоже допиливаем потихоньку. Найс. Ну, клэшить придется все равно. Но опять же, плюс в том, что мы восстановимся. А, уже. Все, найс. Простенький батл. Так. Не, музыка вообще бобчик просто. Здесь мы что думаем? 58. 89. Этого мы гарантированно должны убивать. Если мы выроляем все монетки. Очень прикол. Здесь мы делаем вот так. Вот так. Ладно, давай вот так вот. Да, так, не, ну здесь это мы кранты, конечно, мне кажется. Предлагаю помочь Аиндо. Вот этим вот. Ну, я думаю, 5 на 9 это нечестно. Достаточно простенький левел. А, можно было туда даже не направлять, все. Я немножко ошибся, недооценил. Так. О, давай, even the balance. Тоже. Покажи, на что способна. Как этого добили? Шаблем просто. А, все? Окей, допустим. О, кстати, тени какие-то. That should be all of them. Surveying the area with measured alert, Ayendu cast the blood from her sword with 2 sharp flicks before sliding it back to its sheath. Huh? They're not changing back. Doesn't look like beating up the distorted ones revert them immediately this time around. Perhaps a fortunate turn of events in a way. Let us search for clues while time allows us. Right, you take that side, Ayendu. I'll search here. Ezra and Ayendu moved about as though they were used to this kind of situation. Without even taking a moment to catch their breath after the battle, they began searching the space. Pretty! А кстати, фига не заляпан. Don Quixote was the first one to voice her doubt in this surreal, unfamiliar situation we found ourselves in. To battle distortions up on arrival hither, yet never before have I beheld our surroundings change with so sudden in a flash. Really, I cannot make sense of the situation. Could thou render a detailed account of this distortion phenomenon? Apologies. It would appear I overlooked the briefing due to the urgency of this predicament. This is according to the definition presented by Lady Moses, a location-type distortion. It is basically when a whole space distorts, and since places and buildings can't move on their own, distortion gets fixed in a certain space. Одну секунду, я сейчас вернусь и продолжу чтить. Так, я вернулся. As for this one, looks like the distortions already progressed pretty far along. Middle stage, probably. They don't usually get this big, but this one is here covering almost the entire street. Then those people, they entered this space and got caught up in it. Our job right now is to get to the bottom of the phenomenon. What exactly gets people caught up, and what happens to them once they're in. Of course, they can't really rule out the possibility of a powerful distortion that encroaching upon its environment. Oh, but by that I mean when a distortion bleeds into the space around it and warps it. Oh man, I'm actually talking like our team leader. Rubbed off on me, I guess. He also continued with a sheepish giggle. In any case, we won't be able to suppress or cure the distortion even if we whoop these guys' asses 100 times. Угу. Эти залупи вечно 4К хп оставляю. Понятно. Ты все еще РР проходишь? То есть 5-я секция будет прям мне кажется. Прям долгая. We need more clues to help us locate the inflection point. Maybe we should examine these people over here too? With a call, Ezra directed our attention to rows of collapsed people all around, all of them clad in doper robes. Не, ну просто пейзажик, мое почтение. Как всегда, художники постарались на славу. И, кстати, прям везде как будто бы изображение. And these are the glyph emblazoned upon their headbands. Chu bespeaks propulsion and pursuit. It marks them as Chu-Nakuns, functionaries charged with scouring and hunting runaway nobbies. Нобис, короче, Ноби это раб в средневековой Корее. You hail from their homeland as we do. I am surprised that you know of them. Ну типа он тоже кореец, камон. I could hardly fail to know, for I, too, was once enumerated among their quarry. Scientists and technicians were daily being dispossessed of their stations in S-Corp after all. So it was no idle tale. Scientists who ply their craft without fattening S-Corp's coffers and are seized forthwith and made nobbies of the corporation. Yep, indeed. I count myself fortunate to have absconded with my friends afore the brand of Nobi would be impressed upon us otherwise. Nobi, the wretched appellation conferred upon the people for the convenience of those in power, a vile practice and an excuse of their power-mongering, nothing more. The so-called taboo hunters of S-Corp operate by much the same anatomy. Does the creation of taboo summon the hunter? Or does the hunter first seize his prey, to thereafter frame the captured with invented transgression? If the powerful so desire to chase a man down, to take possession of his very being and keep him caged, then they need to only decree that he should bear a lot of anobi. Such is what S-Corp has become today. My mentor, too, is one of the victims of that accursed practice. Oh, he was an Obi himself. Then could these people have been sent out to captive your mentor, Yi-sang? Or me, perhaps? Or none of us? You mean to state that they may be conceptual form of Chunakuns generated by distortion? That is a plausible conjecture. We are getting nowhere with this clue hunting. With a heavy sigh, Otis pressed her fingers against her brow, as if her head were starting to pound in frustration. To delve further into the matter, it is necessary to determine why the S-Corp and its Chunakuns have appeared at the motive of this phenomenon. Considering the course of events we have seen so far, would it not stand to reason that the distortion stains all nearby things, with memories most foul? The presence of Chunakuns suggests a possible correspondence to Yi-sang's memories. Conversely, however, the absence of T-Corp's time collectors weakens that hypothesis. In which case, the most plausible theory is that this particular distortion would have stemmed from bamboo-headed Kim or I-induced memories. Andus furrowed her brow and fell into thought, as though she couldn't grasp the full picture of the problem. I've seen a few distortions that show trauma or affect their surroundings, but this one? I'm not getting that pop of inspiration. Can't even guess at what the distortion wants either. Then white flash of light suddenly drowned my vision again, as Ezra clutched her head and cries out with annoyance. If only our team leader was here, cracking this would have been a piece of cake! And we're back. So this... Why you kept asking whether we'd seen anything bursting with a pop. The N-Corp employees must have it rough, too, to get dragged into distortion like this. I mean, what else we're supposed to do? It was self-defense. They were about to attack us. I suppose finding the root cause and taking care of it would be the fastest way forward. Let's just do what we can for now. Okay, first we need to develop the film we found here. We'll head to the nearest darkroom and... Nah, actually, let's find Drag that slippery. Had very cold back here and get him talking about the Tunacoons. That's probably our best bet. Every time we take a job, that slacker just sleeps off without telling anyone. As one part of me watching Ezra stamp her feet in frustration, I was also careful following Heathcliff's team through the other part of my vision. Oh, I think I can help with that. Have you located him? Huh? What? Boss Clock found something? Yep, I found where Barber-headed Kim is right now. Так. Что-то вангуем. Так. Будет от... Ну, естественно, топ-дамаг. Очевидно. Ага, мы прошли первую часть. То есть 4 главы, первая часть. Из них 3 мы читаем, одну мы файтим. Угу. Понятно. Прошли на Excellent. Немножко заработали лулащи, заработали фоточек. 367 штук, кстати. Комплит. Улыбочка. Прошу прощения. Так. С учетом того, что я стримлю уже 2 часа, это во-первых. Мы много читали, файтились только под конец. Мне кажется, будет Mnestic Экспириенс состоять из 2 частей, так скажем. Поэтому смотрите. Время у меня уже достаточно позднее. Я предлагаю пока что на сегодня закончить с прохождением Mnestic Экспириенса на сегодня. Естественно, я его продолжу завтра. То есть, это будет 4-5 глав. Мне так кажется. От 12 до 14. Я уже думал, что будет где-то 15-16, но нет. То есть мы прошли 4 главы и забрали 130 лулащей. Еще 40 лулащей. Сколько мы забрали здесь? За Excellent. 40, да? Угу. Они слабы к слэшу, слабы к прайду и гневу. Окей. Эти аналогично. Блант, Пирс, Нормал, слэш слабый. Понятно. Так. Короче говоря, узнали очень много интересного. Сегмент последний с Мерсолем меня вогнал в ступор. Файт. Вот этот вот. Был невероятно классный. Жду не дождусь, когда мы будем рачиться раз на раз с инкорпорцами. Кстати, посмотрите на вот это. На вот этот пейзаж, особенно вот эти вот камни, лица. Как бы это камни, тут также я здесь вижу лица. Короче, интервалла прям хорошее. Оно прям, ну, я бы не сказал, что оно, мне кажется, переплюнет по вайбу мое самое любимое Nocturnal Sweeping, но оно прям держится на уровне с другими. То есть, если с крабами и с чикенами это был, ну, чисто такой рофл, ну, где-то на уровне с этим, с интервала Blade Lineage против куракумовцев. Вот это вот, мне кажется. Где мы, короче, подавляли дисторкнутого Кима. Короче, само появление Кима меня прям очень удивило. То есть из Эджлорда он превратился в Гентоки Сакату просто. Из Гентамы. Типа он может быть серьезным, но так-то он типа рафловый парень такой. И что еще? Самое главное музыка. Батловая музыка меня вообще, я прям... Это что, это Крайм с восточными нотками? Меня прям, да, меня прям вообще. Короче, жду не дождусь, когда мы будем сражаться с инкорповцами. Мы снова будем сражаться с ними. Следующий файт. Вот, короче. Ивентовый босс прикольный, мне тоже понравилось. Но пока что не говорите, что за ивентовый босс. Прошу прощения. Так вот. Я на него обязательно посмотрю. Значит, завтра я, получается, также пройду, наверное, МДшку вне стрима и вторую часть Mnestic Экспириенса. Возможно, даже я как бы... Ну, мне самое главное с энкефалином не обосраться опять, как я сделал сегодня это. Но, опять же, стримчик вышел на пару часиков. Мне нормально. Почитали много. Конечно. То, что 3 читательных главы сделали, это, конечно, да. Интересно. Ладно, спасибо, что смотрели. Завтра стрим чуть пораньше постараюсь запустить, чтобы чуть больше охват сделать. Вот. Спасибо, что смотрели. От скорее сама. Отцу Сити. Bye-bye. Thanks for watching and ciao.